we're working on how you draw the head from every angle and trying to get in depth with it. What are the main features that you can start to map as quickly as possible? And how do you move those features and how they change with different positions? So we're looking at like the sockets of the eyes, looking at the sockets of the eyes and the shadow under the nose. Specifically, the line between both sides of the sockets of the eyes, and also the the circle from the ears mapping the side of the head. So side and front and back, and how that changes with different angles. We're gonna get good at it. We're gonna get really good at it and do a series simplifying these things. After you've mastered them in complex form, then you can go in and see how simplified you can draw them, how quickly you can draw them. So yeah, the cheekbones, so like there, and the jaw only comes like halfway, halfway to the back of the head, maybe a little bit. So this goes back much further still. And these are like almost flat. See the flat points of the face? Not quite flat, everything is curved and there's like micro changes in angle going on all the time. But if you want to, draw the face quickly, there's kind of universal proportions, like the eyes are halfway up the head. Yeah, the eyes are just halfway up. The nose is about halfway to the jaw. From there, there's one eye's length in between each eye. Yeah, the ears also halfway up the skull. And that's a good, and the mouth at a quarter point, it's like half, quarter, eighth of the head, and the space of the cheekbones down to the jaw. And you can get a front-facing view pretty good with that, just general proportions. But then how do you take on various more complicated angles has been what I've been working on just recently. And just taking good anatomy references from Pinterest, which is an awesome way to build skills. Check out figure sketching and anatomy on Pinterest. And then if you're like the eye sockets to the ear, so it's like there's our ear down to the jaw. In this instance, it's a little bit up facing, so like the shadow of the nose too. Yeah, pretty good. And then around to the back of the head there. And pretty cool. Not bad. It just takes a lot of work, not work, but practice to learn to draw the head from any angle, because there really is so many micro shapes and changes in direction in the face that is simplified out, You spend time doing studies to get that in the back of your head, so that as you capture each unique position, each unique caricature and expression, it's like everything that is working behind the scenes. And this is what you do if you want to get like really good at drawing the head from any angle. And you really want to do this to be able to draw the head from imagination, any angle. Okay, we found like a simplified polygon kind of build, and when you're drawing the head, if you're doing several drawings next to each other, you can use the same proportions to kind of map it. Yeah, so here we have the same kind of the jaw up to the ear. And then this side of the head and back leads into the eye sockets and to the nose. And the shadow under the nose is always something to capture. Eye sockets, shadow of the nose. And then notice like the change in the size from here to here. And those changes in size are always something to keep track of. Like this space is now like 3 or 4 times the size. Obviously it's representing the same amount of space. Pretty good. Yeah, it's not even perfectly accurate, you can see, but it doesn't have to be to start learning things. And you want to be able to just like move at a good speed. Sometimes it's good to do in-depth studies and to try and get everything, but to try and figure out the main points and to simplify something into what those points are for you and to practice with that is something that's been helpful for me and it's worked well for me. Like, where are just the nose and eyes, and from there you can work pretty quickly. And then this is like, bam, same shape from the there to there to there, yeah. And I'm not even entirely, it's not a perfect study, but it will be, I guess. We can go in and keep doing this and measuring these until we get it really, really good. Because this is another, this is another video that I wish that I'd found. Doing this, and then we'll look at like anime and Final Fantasy and different stylized proportions, and try to do the same anatomy breakdowns, but for them. And be very fun. Let's see. We've done about all of these. We've used about all of our space here. That's fine. We'll throw in figure studies, but just to do some studies and try and capture shape of the head, and then the eye sockets and the bottom of the nose, and to try different angles on that, even like really tricky angles when you can, is really nice. I feel like in a short amount of time, you'll gain a good amount of progress. And then when you go back in to do, the other thing to kind of keep track of is like, where is the line from like eye to eye and then back, you know, if it's, like looking up and it's like that, you know, like ear and jaw, and then like nose, socket, nose would be like there, you know, like tricky angles where it's not like how you think of when you think of the face, you know, you never think of this shape, but turned up, you know, just like the cube drawing exercise, blocks drawing exercise is everything. If you draw a, you know, cube around the face, yeah, pretty good. And then, you know, referencing your favorite games, your favorite art, and using what you've learned in the reference, you know, to try and turn it into a universal skill, and then keep learning with it. If you in-depth dive different areas, you gain more EXP. If you do like a whole bunch of heads and studies from different anatomy, from different artists, to try and build that map in your mind that you can reference, and see if you can make it intuitive, see if you can make it automatic. And then even if you're going in and just drawing anime that doesn't have like any, you know, it's like two-dimensional and flat, to have that dimensionality in that, you know, mental image really helps. Like stylized anime caricatures. Yeah. All right. Well, super good. Super good. Having fun, keeping the space fun is so valuable. Like, if you're like, oh my gosh, I've been drawing for so long, and you still go to draw heads, and you're like not getting it, and you're like, what is up today? I think like maybe it's a good day to do some in-depth studies and references of the head. You know, our setbacks and limitations, our struggles become like guideposts that lead us towards what we need to learn, what we need to grow, and in that way they become blessings as well. So I hope every blessing and setback becomes something you can learn from and something you can grow through, instead of something you beat yourself up over Yeah, be your friend in the studio space is like rule number one to studying arts and arts education. You know, you got to be a friend to you first, and have a positive growth mindset. You know, can't beat yourself up over anything. If you want to skill build, you know, growth mindset always. You are awesome. You can do it. You can learn anything you set your mind to. Have fun drawing, and I am sending you my love and light.